Phil Kerner, the Tool and Die Guy, and welcome to Chapter 5 of the Journeyman. So once again, if you're new here, the Journeyman series is about, I usually do a little bit of my personal history first. It's kind of for my family, for future reference, I guess. And maybe you get to know a little bit more about me. Tonight we're going to do a few things. We're going to do a little slideshow, and then going to start at least part one of apprenticeships. You know, apprenticeships are a big word right now, right? And it seems to be, to me, a lot of confusion out there on how to run a correct apprenticeship, at least in my industry. Can't speak to the carpenters and the plumbers, right? And the electricians, whatever. I have my book for my apprenticeship, all the notes from Anson Tools and Gauges. I had a great apprenticeship, and it's just the way an apprenticeship is supposed to be run. So we're going to go through a little bit of that, all right? And then we're going to go through another drawer in my toolbox. And at the end of the video, I've got a special for you, but a little surprise too. So we'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, so let's get started here. As I've said before, a little bit of my history. This is where I grew up on East Lawn Parkway here in Erie. That's the family estate there. And you get a nice convertible out there. I think that tree is still there. And my parents were so proud of that dogwood tree. You can see my red tractor there. Now, inside that house, there were some interesting things going on. I'm not sure what I was going for on this one. Got an extra boot. I do have my bag of buckshot there in case, I don't know. I mean, talk about going to shoot your eye out. And, of course, we spared no expense for Thanksgiving. Yeah, and gotta love the beautiful pumpkin, the paper pumpkin. Very nice. 1960s, man. Problem was they wouldn't let me take that off for like 3 months. All right, moving right along. Kerner Tool and Die Company, we've covered a little bit of that. I always loved that pencil sketch. I used it as my opening for the Tool and Die Guy videos for years. They still make that is like quaint stuff like that, you know. But this is interesting. There's a picture in that brochure of the staff. And there's only 2 guys left that are living. And I tracked down one of them. Best toolmaker I ever saw, Dick Forbes. He's, where is he? He's got some big arms there. Yeah, he's probably 18, 19 years old. And he identified everybody there. It's a pretty good story. I know that guy was my Uncle Mike. He was kind of the go-to guy around the shop. There's my dad, Fritz, in the back. And a couple other things. Amos Newman would go on to start Tetra Tool Company, where I worked for 8 years. Great guy. This fellow, Joe Duska, went on to start Engineered Plastics here in Erie. Les Waldemarson, I actually employed his son as my foreman for many years when I had my shop. Bill Hilbert, he just passed away. He went on to be a very successful businessman here in Erie, PHB Industries. All right, so The Apprentice. I'm going to call this The Apprentice Part 1. And this will be, there's a lot going on here. So here's where I took my apprentice, Anson Tools and Gauges. Now, that building is still there. Doesn't look as neat and manicured as it is now. Yeah, it's more of a warehouse, I think, for maybe a plumbing company now. But yeah, it was a really nice building. That's Mr. Anderson's office right there. And we'll tell you about that maybe today or next time. But, here's this funny thing, though. We talk about apprenticeships all the time. Well, before they'd even take my application and consider me, I had to take an aptitude test, all right? And I found it last week. I can't believe I found it. It's 7 pages long. I think there's 22 questions. And obviously, judging by the questions that were being asked, they expected you to have some sort of a technical background because there's a lot of fractional, decimal, things you wouldn't know unless you went to a tech school or something like, the average kid in high school might not know how to read this drawing. What are we trying to do here? Identifying the you guys call a rule, a scale, just things like that. Okay, I have that available for you. Pretty cool stuff. Back in the day, I think I already showed this picture once. Me standing on a new hydrotel. I came into Kerner Tool and Die, probably five or 6 years old there. Still got the red shipping tag on it and everything. But it's interesting. 15 years later, happy as a clam. Running a hydrotel at Anson Tools and Gauges. Man, that was a great machine. Really great machine. Now this one, The old one here, it's hydraulic. This one had electric ball screws or electronic ball screws, and so much power and so accurate. I loved that machine, and I ended up owning one. Now, one of our regular features is bad drawings. And I don't have them for you this week. Not because I didn't see them, because I see them every day, but I forgot to copy some so I could rip them apart. All right. But maybe it's good it's the weekend and I don't have to see that. Okay. That may be a blessing here. All right. So where are we going to move on to next? I think we're going to take a look at some paperwork for my apprenticeship on video. Then I've got another feature of what's in my toolbox and a surprise at the ending.
All right, you guys, this is my third time recording this video part of the lesson tonight because I've watched it. Every time I do it, I watch it, and I'm boring myself, all right, which is not fair to you guys. But I've got this beautiful book. These are all my drawings from the Erie County Technical School back from 1978, 75 through 78. And I don't want to bore you by going through all these. I know I want to show these to you, but, you know, the reality is you don't need to see all these. But the reason I'm showing you just a few, when I talked about that aptitude test at Anson's to get in there, they kind of assumed I knew something. Well, you know what? I had spent 3 years learning things like this, and this was all compass work. These weren't templates. You can see my dots here where I was drawing the arcs and everything. And okay, great. You know, that's just drawing. But look at this. You know, see that red shade? I had to factor in all my math. Math was part of my training, all right? And I love the fractional dimensions, too, because I think a lot of people put way too much tolerance on stupid things today. Now, I guess we'll end this section with this little rant. For all of you guys that say out there, you know, this is ancient technology, you know, AutoCAD, 3D work, you know, that's the way of the future. All I know is the prints I get now are shit, and back then you had to figure it out. And we put a man on the moon by doing this, all right? And you should learn how to do this first, and then maybe I wouldn't get the prints I get every day that are horrible, all right? That's my point, all right? So I'd love to show you this whole thing. If sometime, if you guys ever want to see it, just say, hey, Phil, just show us the whole book. I'd be happy to, all right? So that's the reason I showed you this was for the next reason, Anson Tools and Gauges. So let's talk about my apprenticeship. So I've been carrying this book around for a long time, all right? It says 1980, 1983. That's right. Yeah. 40 years ago. And when we talk about how to run an apprenticeship, well, I had a good one. And again, I'm being very careful here because the last time I did this, I bored myself with too much information. I just want to show you what a great agreement I had with the shop. Documents were signed with the Pennsylvania Apprenticeship and Training Council, Anson Tools and Gauges, Tool and Die Maker, Department of Labor and Industry. This is official stuff, man, and they were really good at watching what we were doing with night school and everything. Let's take a break, and I'll find the next page. Okay, here we go. Effective January 7th, 1980. Agreed wage for schedule of apprenticeship, tool and die maker, mold maker. $3.80 an hour. Okay, and when I finished, I was at $7.55, and that would get adjusted for inflation occasionally. But these are all the agreements I had with the company. In this section, which I think is really important, night school, Erie County Technical School. Supplemental tool and die makers apprenticeship courses, blueprint reading, industrial math, 2 semesters. Let's see, jig and fixture theory. You know, that was a really, really good class. Forgive me. And this was the book. Chill bumps now. This book was so good. And look at all. You know what? We were in mold making. I was a mold maker, and I had to take a jig and fixture class, and I'll be danged if 50 or 40 or 30 years later, I end up building a lot of jigs and fixtures now. And there we go. You know, just a great book. Take a look at that. Jig and Fixture Design, Volume 1 by Delmar Publishers. Okay, so mechanical drafting, that was an easy one for me. Mold making, die cast dies, drafting courses, those were easy for me. Already had 3 years of that. Moving right along, and we have here Jig and Fixture Design 1 and 2, EDM, Adventures and Attitudes Management Development. That was an apprenticeship. Here we have the supervisor of apprentices and what his job was to do. All right? All spelled out what the supervisor was supposed to do with training, reporting to the president of the company, meeting with apprentices, the shop foreman, his responsibilities. You know, pretty advanced, right? Again, they're kind of listing the hours they want me to have on each machine. So, the apprentice tool list. We didn't have a QC department back then. No tool shop did. We were expected to check our own work with good tools. And our company took the time to write down everything they thought you should have in your first 6 months, in your first year, everything you needed to have to be a complete tool maker, right? It's all listed, all right? And then they literally walk around when they realized I was coming up on my anniversary date, and they has not, checked by. So, do I have a small metal tool test? Yes. Doesn't have it. No. Checked by, but a date. And if I didn't have all this stuff on my list, no raise for me. Now, as long as it was ordered, I got the raise. The emphasis was on your tools, and I'm not going to bore you with all the way through the list. But what I have for you tonight, which is a special that's available to you at the end of this video, I have the whole reproduced list of the tools that were required as an apprentice. It tells you what make to buy, what kind of toolbox to buy, ball peen, hammers, 12-inch square, it's all here. This is the complete list, and it's yours. If you'd like to donate to cover my expenses, that'd be awesome, but it's a free link. Okay, that's at the end of the video. And finally, we're moving right along here. I'm not sure how much we're getting with the reflection on the lighting here, but they tracked every hour I had on every machine. NC, radial drill. Wasn't a lot of that back then. We were already moving to NC. The radial drill was going out of style. We still used it, but surface grinder, polishing, EDM. And every month, they added up my hours for me until I was done. All right, by hand. They did this for all the apprentices, and I have them all. All of the hours I put in there. So, I did it as fast as I could. Oh, you want to see my monthly grades? Do you really want to? Let's see here. Skill and knowledge, 4. Let's see. 1980, I was 20 years old. Quality of work, very good. Should start improving his quantity. They always say that, right? I need to show more initiative and drive. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Don't they always say that? Oh, now it's better. Very steady worker. Works well with others. Ha. Excellent, excellent, good. Yeah, that's what they graded us every month. They gave us we knew where we stood. Not every year, every month. Okay? So that's it. Hope you enjoyed that book. I can't throw it out, guys. I just can't throw it out. And if you ever want me to go through every page, I will. But that's the best I could do tonight.
All right, in this drawer, got my camphor block. This is one of my favorite tools. I don't use it much. This was my dad's Lufkin planer gauge. And I use it for setups. I use it for checking things. It's really handy, and it's still smooth as silk. This is probably from the 1950s. You can barely make it out there. Lufkin tool. His initials, I think, might be on here somewhere. There they are right there. Let's see if we can see them. FK right there. Trying to get the glare in it. There it is, right there. So, nice tool. You got this extension rod you can screw into it. Screw it into this side. Here, here. So you can check a lot of different heights with this thing. I love it. I don't use it much, but still like having it around. Let's see. Let's put it back in the box so it fits right. This is a 30 and 30, so there's be a 60-degree included angle here. Not sure what I made this for, but I took the time to grind it up. Anyways, it's in my box, obviously. This is kind of cool. This is a microfinish comparator, surface finish scale. You know, different finishes. And you've got your surface ground finish, your Blanchard ground finish. It's, depending on what the customer called out, super heavy duty milling finishes. Never really used it, but it's too cool to get rid of. You know the feeling, right? And then a handy dandy mirror. This guy's spindle grinding service. He used to come to town and he had a tapered grinder that he would go up into your spindle and regrind the inside of your taper if it was worn out. I haven't seen that done in a long time, but the reason I have this mirror is for checking setups occasionally when I need to see something behind me, you know, underneath. I had this a long time. And finally, these are just another set of angle blocks. As you can see the difference between the other ones I have. The other ones have the foot on them. These do not have the foot. So you've seen these before. These are footless, okay, stopless. But this is a nice set. Again, these were heat treated. You can tell by the hole in the end that that's what they put the wire through to dip them in the oil and get them back out. But very handy set. I use these, you know, quite a bit, usually for inspection. So not a real big deal there. Not very exciting, but hope you enjoyed that.
Well, I certainly hope you enjoy that. Well, what do we have here? Well, that picture of me running a Hydrotel in like 1980, this is the apron. They supplied these aprons, got my name embroidered in it, not just silkscreen. And this is a fun apron. I get the room for the scale up here, the rule, and then the pocket for the micrometers. Okay, still travel like that every day. I wear a blue apron now because we do so much deburring. These get messy, but that's the point. Got 50 years out of this, not too shabby. So, here's the deal. If you guys have any interest in the apprentice tools list, if you guys have any interest in the aptitude test, that was hard to find. I kind of was surprised they even had it. They're on the link underneath this page, all right? And I'm accepting a donation for it. You guys have been so good helping me out, and I know you can just take these PDFs, and I can't control that. I'm not going to worry about it. As usual, be the person your dog thinks you are. Your support means a lot. It's Christmas time, got some kids, got a wife, got some gifts to buy. You know the feeling, right? Many hands make light work, as they said. Thousands of people will watch this. If you could all help out just a little bit, I'd appreciate it. These are yours. One last thing I do want to clean up. A few times many years ago, I had one guy in particular really came after me for asking for money or donations for any of this stuff because they weren't mine. Well, I'm the only one that has these. Nobody else has these. I preserve them. And I always say this. If I bought a painting today, I want to change the frame, I rip the painting out, and there's an original copy of the Declaration of Independence, and it's worth $5 million, I'm not allowed to sell it because I didn't write it. You're smarter than that. So, holidays are beginning. Have a great week this week at work. Be productive. Stay in the arena. Get some good work done. I'm Phil Kerner, the Tool and Die Guy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next chapter.